Guys, welcome back to the show.
Guys, the Sons of Vidya show, the podcast you love so much.
Love to listen to.
I'm Tom C.
D. Marks.
And we are here for another thrilling week of all killer, no filler.
Yep.
Episode 140,000.
You know what I always say, if it bleeds, it leads.
So you know what I always say, if it rhymes, it's on time.
Nice.
Great. Awesome show, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you later.
Anyway, so we're back for another week of stuff that's happening to everybody all the time.
Yeah, man. There's been some good amount of video news. We talked a little bit about Kojima-san and the mystery, I would say.
Did we talk about this on the show?
We talked about it a little bit, but let's go because there's been more develops.
Well, I totally forgot about this. This is kind of important. We're talking too much about news right off the bat, but...
Well, dude, that's fine. That's what the kids are here for.
Dude, okay.
I've heard from one source that we should cover more news.
You're right. Okay, so guys, I'm sure you've all heard about this Kojima nonsense, right? Apparently, Kojima's been...
a recap.
Kojima's been fighting with Konami for whatever reason, and apparently his name has been gently shoveled off the Metal Gear Solid 5 information. And most recently, the PT, the Silent Hills project he was working on with, Benicio del Toro?
Yeah.
And the guy from Boondock Saints. That's been canceled. But with anything associated with Kojima, there's a lot of intrigue, hype, and confusion.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, because there's been some news about there's been some comments from the community at large about PT getting pulled because everyone loved PT. That's something we all know.
Yeah. It was the hit of the summer.
Yeah, it was I would say it's a horror darling. Horror darling.
I think you nailed it the first time.
That was a hard word to say. So yeah.
Classic tongue twister.
Mm-hmm. It's Irish wristwatch.
You didn't even do it right.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, New York.
Anyway,
Irish wristwatch.
You didn't do it right either. Anyway,
did. Listen back on that tape.
So everyone loves PT, and then it got pulled from the PlayStation Network, and this is right after like promotional art and stuff for Phantom Pain got removed, got Kojima's name removed, and it's not even saying that it's Fox Engine anymore, or it's saying it's Fox Engine, but saying it's not Kojima Productions. It's a whole big thing, guys, and I'm not sure what to think about it.
So, guys, first question. Do we believe that Kojima is probably leaving Konami after Metal Gear Solid 5? Answer, maybe.
That's a reasonable assumption to make.
That's fair.
He's in his 50s now. He probably has a lot of money.
Question 2. Has he ever said he's going to leave Konami before?
Quite frequently.
Yes, often says it. Question 3. Has Kojima ever perhaps misled people for publicity?
Well, this is the thing, is that, like, it could so be real about the idea that Konami's like, listen, Kojima, you're clearly a crazy person, and I'm not sure how we didn't realize this 30 years ago, but clearly you're a nutcase and you have to be fired. I'm sorry.
Well, here's the thing about...
And then he probably wrote a robot out of the room.
Okay, here's my problem with that. 1, Konami is absolutely nothing without Kojima. Let's face it, are Castlevanias selling big these days?
Dude, what about...
No, they're not. That's the answer. The only real big seller they have is Metal Gear Solid.
Dude, what about Rumble Roses?
Yeah, no one bought that. List one other game Kojima sells besides Castlevania and Rumble Roses.
You mean Konami? Contra.
Come on.
Didn't they do Twisted Metal?
Nope. Come on. I think that was Midway or Activision.
They did...
Come on.
I want to say Rumble Roses again.
Nope, you can't say that. But you could say probably... nah, I guess they didn't do Dead or Alive. No, that was Tecmo.
Yeah.
See? They don't do anything, and it's a problem, because that's... Like, how can... Metal Gear Solid is obviously their biggest thing.
Yeah.
So how are you going to act like they're going to just be like, we have to fire Kojima? That's not even a thing that's occurring. That would be like if Microsoft fired Bill Gates. What are you talking about?
I mean, he's not there anymore, but...
Yeah, but he wouldn't get fired.
That's true.
If you make a company... Well, they fired Steve Jobs. Great point, me. I nailed it.
Yeah.
So anyway...
Well, here's my thing. A couple of things. Number one, I heard some rumors that Metal Gear Solid 5, some of the slack is going to be picked up by what's his name? Joaquin Mogren. Did you hear about that?
Right. Oh, yeah. That's weird. It's weird there was this weird campaign at the outset of this game that was all done through misleading people and through nonsense.
What was the studio that was that under? Wasn't it like Moby Dick Studios?
I think it was Moby Dick Studios.
Yeah.
It was something to do with whales. It was a whole bunch of nonsense, and it's almost like this entire project constantly gets shrouded in mystery and stupid garbage like this.
Yeah,
But, like, is it just a boy who cried wolf situation?
Dude, well, that's the thing, is that, like, people think this is what happened.
Japanese have a boy who cried wolf?
Probably. Well, there aren't any wolves in Japan anymore, so maybe it's like the boy who cried.
Anymore? What happens?
They all got extinct. They were hunted to extinction.
Is it true?
Yeah, in like the early 20th century.
For delicious wolf oil?
Probably, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
To lubricate their wolf engines.
Okay, but here's my question. What's the point of all this? Because that's something someone brought up to me, because they were mad about the fact that that Silent Hills was canceled. Because does this really serve to generate any more hype?
Well, here's what I will say, and I was going to make this point. We talked about delicious wolf oil.
Mm-hmm.
This is what a lot of people think happened with the Interview. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
A lot of people think that whole thing with North Korea threatening terrorist attacks, a lot of people think that was fake, just to drum up hype for the movie.
I also think
and to also kind of soft blow the fact that it wasn't getting a widespread theater release. It was just going direct to digital. So a lot of people think that it's kind of like a conspiracy that Sony kind of set up specifically so that, you know, people would be like, oh, well, I gotta see this movie because I want to support America.
Yeah, no, I kind of feeling like
I gotta
that,
stick
too.
it to the NKs, as I call them.
And then nobody liked that movie too.
It was all right.
But that's the thing is, no one believes that 5 is going to be of lesser quality. You know, so it's not like a Seth Rogen, James Franco romp where everyone's like, yeah, that movie's probably going to suck. That's why there's so much hype. Everyone's already hyped because they think it's going to be great.
More like Pineapple Not Express. Pineapple Local Train.
What is this that we're doing? You hear what I'm saying, though? Like, because people are already excited.
There's no legacy behind the Interview. Yeah, I get that.
People want it already. I would say hype for Metal Gear fans are at the height that they can be. People who didn't like Silent Hill were already super excited for Silent Hills because the PT demo was so wildly successful. By the way, guys, another example of misleading was done with PTs. Like, PT was released under a studio that wasn't Kojima, even though it had everything to do with Kojima, it had everything to do with Silent Hill. So this whole thing has been a bunch of that to make people like us, stupid people, talk.
It's talk bait.
And it works. So why should I... But then, again, everyone is at risk of this boy who cried wolf syndrome. Because nobody wants to feel like they were had or like they believed too much in a thing. But at the same time, why on earth would he be fired ever?
I mean, it could be... It could be for a lot of reasons. I mean, the only thing... And this is going to be weird, so everyone just bear with me for a second. The biggest thing that I think is a telltale reason why it's definitely a ruse and not a real thing, and this is going to sound weird again, but just bear with me. The only thing I'm pretty sure that's a ruse is because of all the David Hayter nonsense that started in the beginning of Ground Zeroes.
Go on.
Because we've talked about this on the show back when it was first announced. So Kiefer Sutherland is taking the role of Punish Snake in the upcoming Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. Mm-hmm. And Kojima has said multiple times that he much prefers the English voice cast to the Japanese voice cast in Metal Gear Solid games. He has always praised David Hayter's work. He thinks he does a great job of Snake. And then all of a sudden he brings in Kiefer Sutherland and says that David Hayter will have nothing to do with it, sparking a great deal of outrage by fans. Everyone's confused. Everyone's dick gets blown clear off. Mm-hmm. So... It seems to me weird that Kojima would let go his number one favorite voice actor guy, and then Konami would let go their number one producer director guy.
Yeah.
So that those two events, while separate in my crazy beautiful head of mine, I see a red yarn pattern on my wall that connects them all together.
Was that dude autistic, or did he have synchrophagia?
He had I think he was just schizophrenic.
Oh, that's bad too. So anyway, I hear what you're saying, And I think it's a good point. Like and this is what this is all about too. This is what Metal Gear games are all about. This is what Kojima is definitely all about.
But then again, the other thing is that like there's that thing you said, the boy who cried wolf. There's an off chance that there's a wolf in Konami who's eating people.
But
maybe Kojima's already been eaten. Maybe he thought he was safe and the wolves are back.
Think about how many rumors there's been and the rate in which these rumors are occurring. Because it seems like every couple of weeks there's a new rumor, there's more stuff to talk about. Never in this game's incredibly long development cycle have you not been talking about something in the production of this series.
Yeah, well, I'm curious about when did Revengeance come out? Because that was the last real Metal Gear Solid game that wasn't whatchamacallit.
Unless you count Ground Zeroes.
I think, didn't Revengeance come out after Ground Zeroes?
I'd say it probably did not. 2013, yeah.
2013, and then Ground Zeroes, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I'm counting Ground Zeroes sorry, I thought you meant Portable Ops. I'm counting Ground Zeroes.
Portable Ops is like ancient.
Yeah, I'm counting Ground Zeroes as part of 5. Because it's all part of the same development cycle.
I'm not sure that you can even say that anymore, considering this is going to come out 2 years before it.
Only a year and a half.
Theoretically.
Listen, we have to have hope.
The
point is, it's not quite as big as a gap as I would have thought. I thought Revengeance was like 2012 or something.
Theoretically, the most recent thing in the Metal Gear line that's actually story related is Peace Walker, and then theoretically
it would be 4 before that.
Didn't Peace Walker come out after 4?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be Peace Walker, and then 4 would be the game previous to that.
Previous to that, which is the most recent big release.
Yeah.
Because we're not counting that as a big release. But that's an insanely long development cycle. And any heat
between 4 and 5 will be 7 years.
Yeah, that's like a Tool album, dude.
Yeah.
So like any heat that might be coming off of that thing would have been dissipated had it not been for this media stuff. Maybe this is all they can do to keep people still excited about something after that long of a wait. Because there's a lot of games that came out in the PS2 era that you don't hear crap about them. You're no longer hyped about it. If they said, hey, God of War whatever is coming out, you'd be like, who cares? If they said now, like, oh, Uncharted, you'd be like, I'm kind of excited about that.
I'm very excited for Uncharted.
Like, if there was a new Uncharted, like, I'm trying to think of games that, like, there's less hype about. But, like...
That could potentially... That would benefit from a ruse like this?
Yeah. Because these games are older games. The last one came out, like, launch PS3.
Yeah, that's true. It was
so this is like,
right
imagine like a launch PS3 game. How would they keep that fire on it, the interest of people on it, for that long?
Yeah, I mean, what would be a good example? God of War is not a terrible one there.
Yeah, because 3 came out, whatever. We're not talking about Chains of Olympus or Ascension. Yeah. 3 came out like launch PS3, and if they were like, yeah, we're working on 4, people would be like, yeah, okay. But they're not going to be like, what? Yeah. They wouldn't keep talking about it every couple of weeks. You got a hype train, dude. You got a hype train rolling.
Yeah, get right on that hype train.
It's big deal. It's serious.
But doesn't it make you a little worried just from the perspective of like, don't you feel like they're kind of over marketing it a little bit?
Well, that's what I said earlier is why do they feel the need to keep doing this?
Yeah.
And what I've come to the conclusion is that Kojima likes messing with people. He's probably doing some kind of dumb experiment. So, like, after the game is released, they could say we had a crazy marketing thing that we were trying out for an extremely long time, and it worked, is what he's going to say. And he wants to see how long he can do it. He wants to do this thing where he manipulates people, because that's what Kojima loves doing in his games. Now he can do it in real life.
I imagine that whenever Kojima's, like, at his desk or in a marketing meeting or something, just the entertainer, the theme from The Sting is playing in his head.
Yeah.
And he's just like, how can I ruse them all today?
No, here's what I would guess people would say. Here's in my head, here's what is happening. Konami said to Kojima, how do you want to market this? You know what you're doing. Do whatever you want to market this.
You think they
gave him full reign.
They gave him. Do you think they gave him Force Recon? Just let him go.
I guess.
Sherman's March to the Sea. Just cut him loose.
I think they were just like, because how much did they really market the other games? Not a super lot.
The only one I can really think that they really, really marketed a lot was, I remember all the hype around 2 when that was coming out.
Yeah.
But that's the only other one. You're right. I can really think of there being like a massive hype train buildup.
They're not the world's best marketers, and Phantom Pain's probably the biggest budget game Konami's ever released. It's probably the biggest budget game they've ever worked on or released.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Because what's going to beat that? 4? No. There's no chance that this game... This is probably the longest development they've ever had. It's probably the most publicity, the most hype, the most money, the most work. So why... And I think...
Do you think it's kind of like Michelangelo being like, "Oh, I'm not working on the Sistine Chapel anymore, guys. The Pope totally fired me," and the Pope's like, "Yes, I totally fired Michelangelo." And then like everyone comes in and they unveil the Sistine Chapel, and Michelangelo's like standing on against the column. He's just like, "Oops, I fooled y'all." And then it's like the most beautiful painting that anyone's ever seen.
I mean, I guess.
Do you think Kojima, in his weird twisted head, do you think he's saying to himself, "This game is going to be my legacy, so everyone has to play it"? I need to get as many people playing it as possible so everyone can enter into my mind.
I mean, it's possible.
Journey to my mindscape. Hop upon my thought train.
Is it really wrong to say that this probably has the most public interest of any Metal Gear Solid game?
I don't think that's wrong.
And is it wrong to say that it is partially because of this very strange development cycle?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about it. We talk about it constantly because the thing is, you're right. There's always new stuff to talk about.
Question 3.
Because here's the deal. Sorry to interrupt. Here's the deal. Here's what I think is a good example. Maybe not a great example, but a kind of good example. Call of Duty game gets announced. They know people are going to buy it, but there's not a lot of hype for it, you know?
Yeah, there's no...
Like, people are just like, "Oh, well, I know what game I'm going to buy whenever that comes out. It's going to be Call of Duty, Black Ops, whatever." But this game, they're like... It's not like a Call of Duty game has any. It's not like they can pull a surprise on you. They can really be like, "Whoa!" But this is a game where like there's so much speculation about what's going on with the voice acting and the actual story that they can really pull some fun moves.
Here's the other thing. Game like Silent Hill, everyone's hyped about it. Guess what? There's probably a lot of people who only play Silent Hill and don't play Metal Gear. But now, these things are connected. And now, this guy's causing a problem for this. It drives people to that, too. If Konami gave Kojima control over this marketing campaign, he would do something like that. He would say, "We're going to do a little bit of a drop on this, just so we can get some more people from other circles talking, too." Does it draw more attention to the game? Maybe. Does it draw more attention to Kojima? Yes. Does that draw more attention to Metal Gear? Yes.
Do you think that they're building up for a crossover between Silent Hill
No.
and Metal Gear Solid?
I don't think that at all.
Are you sure?
Yes. I will say this, though. Here's a really good point that someone else brought up to me. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they just dropped this game that had a ton of hype and they spent $1 zillion on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Well, the thing is, it's true that they don't just drop games like that, but games do enter development hell, even if they do have a ton of hype for them.
This is not one of them. This is in no way. No way. You're going to be like, that one Star Wars game, that was hyped.
No, you have a ton. You have the game with the little boy and the griffin. That's not coming out ever.
That studio takes forever.
Everyone wants that game, but that's
Last Guardian, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. But there are a ton of games that just get stuck in development hell.
That's not a political move, though. Those people are just slow.
But that's not always the case, because it could be have problems with funding from the actual publishers. You can have stuff with staff problems. It can be a lot of things.
But I don't think a studio pans them like that. I don't think Konami pans a Silent Hill game like that. That's what I'm saying. There's just too much heat on it. There's just too much heat on it for them to go, well, we're done. No one's letting a thing like PT unexist.
Maybe they're so behind on Metal Gear that they're pulling people off the Silent Hill staff and putting them on Metal Gear.
I just guys, I know that
I could make up more fun theories if you wanted to.
I think I'm doing great too. Because here's what I'm saying: you can talk all day about Japanese pride or whatever, but there's no way that force is stronger than the desire of a businessman to make money.
I feel like you'd have some people who would disagree with that.
You'd have some people who are wrong.
Well, guys, we're going to talk more about some stuff on the next thrilling half of Sons of Vidya.
See you later.
Thanks for sticking around.
Wow.
Guys,
Treats.
here's the thing. We were hot that last half.
It was real hot.
Let's cool off.
It was real hot.
We came in hot.
It was
We're
real
still hot. Let's cool off.
We gotta chill. I've got some I'm gonna say a little later, but for now, think about ice cream.
Listen, if you're going to announce on the show that you and your wife,
You mean Sheila?
yeah, what'd you guys sign the last name again
Wait, on our last name?
for your wedding?
Wait, we
Did
haven't.
you go with the hyphens?
Oh no, of course not.
Is it Sheila Sea hyphen?
No, I'm aggressive. I'm totally regressive.
Mm-hmm.
Sheila Sea. It's a great name.
So well, if you're super aggressive, she's just Mrs. C now.
I mean, I did name her Sheila.
Well, I feel like that's about as aggressive as it gets, honestly.
Not only did she take my last name, I also forced her to take a new first name.
I think that's kind of neat in its own way.
I think it's really neat. Although it kind of gives me like a vibe of like
Like you're her parent, kind of,
yeah,
because your name
that's
is.
what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I get that.
I couldn't think of the right word. It's not patriarchy, but I guess it is.
Parental.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But
But unfortunately, it happened. So whatever.
Yeah, well, it's cool that she's cool with it.
Would Sheila have been my first choice? I guess so.
Yeah.
It's like when you get like a baby, you can't name it the first day.
No.
That's what always bothers me. Is people bothers me. Is like people have a dog or no, they have a baby, right? And they already have a name for it, like little Sephiroth coming out the womb right now. No, you haven't met your kid yet. It could be a Cloud at this point.
Well,
Maybe it's a Barrett. Maybe you have a black kid.
I think also I want to say it's Jewish tradition. I think it's Jewish tradition. You don't name the baby like at least I don't think you name the baby until you have the bris.
Yeah.
Or whatever ceremony they have.
Would you name your car before you drove it?
Well, I think it's less of that and more of a case of just in case the baby dies.
Oh, neat. Dude, babies die all the time. Babies are like little dying machines.
I hear that they can suddenly die.
Suddenly, infantly die.
Yeah.
It's terrible, guys. These babies, let's face it, all humans really, they just want to die. That's what they do. That's what they do best.
It's a race towards death, and we all hope that we're last.
Yep. Did we chill perhaps too hard on this?
I don't know. I was about to choke up, but maybe that's a little too chill.
Oh, you trying over there? You trying?
Dude, you know me.
Oh, that's the most inside of references. Guys, oh boy, allergy season is kicking in hardcore, and I'm dealing with it.
Dude, it's rough. Well,
What's your favorite video game to sneeze to?
Sneeze Master.
Well, they haven't made that yet, but I think we should get on it.
Well, it's a Flash game.
Oh, of course it's a Flash game.
Dude,
What about Booger Man? It's a real choice.
It's true.
He doesn't sneeze, though. He just
I never played Booger Man.
Yeah, you don't need to. It's
was
like
more-
Earthworm Jim, but
I was about to say,
bad.
I was more of an Earthworm Jim guy.
Yeah, it's because Earthworm Jim's way better. I dare you to argue me that. Come at me,
Well,
bro.
seeing as I've never played Booger
Talk
Man.
to the audience.
So,
Yeah, come right at me, because I'm not even going to entertain this.
I found it so weird that the video game came before the show, and that you had never heard that there was a show of that.
Yeah, I'm still right to have never heard of that.
It's weird. It was part of the
Oh,
Saturday...
sorry, I thought you meant Booger Man. Yeah, Earthworm Jim
no.
deserves a show because that's a great,
great
character.
It was part of the Saturday morning block on the WB.
Dude, Earthworm Jim is a great character.
It's fun. That whole series is cool.
I never thought they were that fun, but they're great characters.
I love the show. I watch the show every weekend because here's the deal. You had Earthworm Jim, who's a really great guy. He's got an awesome suit. I love that suit, dude.
Yeah, the suit was rad.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hate.
You had Pete the dog. He was kind of lame, but whatever.
Unfamiliar with him.
He's a little sidekick, and when he got mad, he turned into the raging monster man.
Nope.
Oh, that's right, because you didn't watch the show.
Yeah.
Okay, you had Psychro. I love Psychro.
I remember that.
Psychro was one of my favorites. I'm actually just going to
bring
bring
it. Who's the chick who's hot? Because that's all. That's
oh,
what
Queen. She's the Queen.
She's almost definitely a B.
Yeah, I don't remember.
This crow's not doing anything for anybody.
Dude, I love... it's Princess What's-Her-Name, of course.
Yeah, I mean, how could we forget?
I don't know. I always liked Psycho. I thought he had a cool design, too.
He reminds me a lot of Cortez from Crash Bandicoot. Just in, like, feel.
I can kind of get what you're saying. I'm just a big fan of the suits in general.
Yeah.
So that's why I like him.
He's a real designer for that. Unsurprisingly, all this just brings up porn when you look up Princess What's-Her-Name.
Yeah, that's a little shocking.
Is it?
But here we are.
Is it shocking?
No, it's not shocking.
Because I'm not shocked at all. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm surprised there's not more Venture Brothers crossover there. Seems like a no-brainer. Anyway, we're not talking about this. It's a great game with great skills.
Also, I like the plasma pistol. That was cool.
Dude, everything in that game was who was the designer in that? Because they must have gone on. Here's what I would bet money on. I would bet that they went on to Oddworld. I get real vibes of that.
I could see that.
Yeah. That's what I would say.
Is there any like game out there like that like you've never really... Is there a game that you like that you've never really played?
I mean, I sucked at Earthworm Jim, but yeah, there's stuff like that. There's a lot of games I never played that I am like a fan of. Actually, I would say all Silent Hill games. Those, like, I'm sure there are some bad ones, but for the most part, they interest me a great deal, even though I've never played them. Like, the idea behind The Room, I think, is fantastic, and I would like to actually play that one day, but I'm just too scared. So, actually, a lot of horror games, it's mostly I'll never play them, but I'm delighted by the idea of them.
Well, you know what? I can't ask for more than that.
Is there anything on that idea for you? MDK, of course they made MDK.
Yeah, they made MDK, and then they merged with another studio and actually made Silent Hill Homecoming, which I don't remember if that's the one that people like or people didn't like.
No one likes any Silent Hill but 2.
No, there's another one. I think it's...
People kind of like 3.
I think people like...
I like Shattered Memories because it's just one remade. And I don't think anyone liked Homecoming. I guess there was one that came after Shattered Memories that people liked. But
yeah, I think Shadow... What was the one that came out for Wii? I feel like that's the one that everyone liked.
It's probably Downpour there, I would say.
No, I think it's...
Shattered Memories one's for Wii, yeah.
Yeah, I remember this. This is the box I remember people liking.
Because that's the remake of 1, which is good. I don't know. I actually... and this is not the topic we're talking about. I apologize, but I want to mention this before this episode's over. I have come to a conclusion, a major conclusion, in relation to video games, not in relation to anything we're talking about. I'm just totally derailing this conversation to say it. Guys, my game of the previous generation, which is 360, PS3, I've concluded my game of that generation is Dark Souls. I've come to that conclusion.
Okay.
Like, I thought about it, and that is the game that will transcend that generation for me. I know I didn't give any time to think about this, but, like, yesterday I had, like, an epiphany. I'm like, that's the best game of that whole generation.
No, I get you. You're driving home. I
was thinking about it.
You could get into a car accident, and while they're wheeling you away from that burning wreckage, the first thing that you see in your blood loss hallucination, you see Dark Souls coming down from the heavens.
I think so. Like that, it's just the truth of it is that that's the game I think I will for the longest time remember and like. I know there's a lot of great games for that generation, but that game did something too important. It's just that's the game for me, guys. Me and it are getting married. I'm changing its name to Sheila. Let's face it. Yeah, I didn't clear this with you of this being a conversation idea, but I just came to that conclusion. I needed to say it because I love Dark Souls, and like I get this. I just want to play it all the time. Like that's a game that I can beat it a million times and I still want to play it. It's weird. We can go back to talking about Earthworm Jim, but I'm just thinking about it.
No, I'm thinking right now because I feel like
I know it's a big claim because you have a lot of games that generation.
Yeah, I mean, are we allowed to say PC game here?
Yeah.
Because I feel like for me, If we're talking like games that we
unless it's like FTL, it doesn't count.
No. If we're talking like games that we can come back to and games that we're always kind of thinking about, like in the back of our heads, we're always just kind of like, you know what, I'm at work right now, but I could be playing this too. I would probably rather do that.
Yeah.
If we're talking games like that, I gotta go Civ 5.
I knew you'd say that.
I almost hate to say it. I legitimately do.
I can't believe you don't like 4 more than 5.
Dude, I'm telling you, so much of it, so much of it is just that game design. That's like one of the prettiest, tastiest looking games I've ever seen.
I secretly have been wanting to play Civ 5 a lot lately.
Dude, because those rounded buttons, those
dude.
glossy pictures, that color scheme, especially in Brave New World, that kind of like soft blue tone that all the buttons and hubs have.
Yeah.
You can't not look at it.
It's weird they nailed it so hard and then they made After Earth and apparently everyone hates it.
Yeah. Well,
I bet you that the movie After Earth secretly affected their sales.
Well, because it's Beyond Earth. It's not After Earth.
I know, but you get that same vibe.
I could maybe
I bet
see what you're saying.
A majority of consumers agree that this very shallow connection I have made is their thought process too.
So were people just mad about Beyond Earth, the fact that it was just 5 with a new hat on it? Or was there more to it than that?
I think that's why they're mad. I think that there wasn't enough new stuff.
Yeah.
Which is stupid, guys. Because I think they wanted like it to be... I think it was kind of a mod feeling.
Oh, yeah. Because I played the demo. I didn't actually play the full game. But from what I played, there was a lot of... It was like Civ 5, except if Civ 5 were much less forgiving in some ways.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's hard to find new cities. The like native aliens are like they're like basically the barbarian stand-ins.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are way harder. So it's like, I don't know. It's more difficult and not in a satisfying way.
I don't know. I mean, I think I kind of get the same vibe from Civ 5 you get. Like, even though I didn't play it that much, I can get why that's a game that transcends for you. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's a game that, like, it feels like it lasts forever, like, in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, to me, for Dark Souls, like, that's a game I think about. Like, that game changed who I am a little bit and what I expect from video games, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, it's a game I'm like, okay, every time I play an action game from now on, I'm going to be like, should I just be playing Dark Souls? I know what you're going to be saying is, what about Dark Souls 2? No, it's not better. It's not.
No, I know you don't like
Dark Souls 1 is the perfect iteration. What about Demon Souls? That came out first. No. They took Demon Souls, which I loved. They perfected it. They mastered it in Dark Souls. It's the perfect iteration of that game. It's not too easy. It's not too hard. It's possibly the hardest of all the Souls games.
Yeah, that's what you always said about the hundo % nailing it.
Yeah, it's a perfect game, and it's the game of the generation for me. They're not going to do better than that. What's a Rock Band? Is that what you're going to say?
No, I'm
No.
not going to say Rock Band.
You just say Rumble Roses? No. What do you got?
Maybe you'll say.
Maybe you'll say Rumble Roses. But, like, there's just nothing that I care about as much. I would say I care about Dark Souls. Like, right now, you don't understand. I want to kill people to play Bloodborne. I would murder innocent people to play Bloodborne right now. But I can't do that because no one's made a murder for PS4 thing yet.
Yeah, it's weird that they haven't figured that out.
That's not a business.
Nobody can do that.
But I want that to be my business. I need to play Bloodborne, dude. Every one of my favorite YouTube channels is playing it. They're at like episode 21 of their Bloodborne playthrough, and I can't even watch that.
I was about to say, I'm surprised you're watching that stuff.
I am not watching that.
Yeah.
I put on episode 1 of Epic Name Bros 1. I put it on when I sleep, and I just keep rewatching it because I'm never going to watch that. I'm just going to listen to his dulcet tones, but I'm not going to learn about that game because I care so much about it.
Also, I like the idea that you have a bunch of Vito Corleone types sitting in an Italian restaurant just being like, how are we going to handle this problem with the new police commissioner? I feel as though maybe a PlayStation 4 could be the answer to our problems here.
I would do it. Dude, it's like people are like, there's problems with Bloodborne, it's not as blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I don't care about that. I don't know if you're right or wrong. Like, there's only like 15 weapons in it. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah, that's that.
Like, do you not? I feel like nobody gets it or something. Because if your complaint with Bloodborne is there's not enough weapons, then get out of my face. People are like, you can't use shields anymore. Get out of my face. Do you guys not get it?
Yeah, you can't be afraid to try new stuff.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome, and I want to play it so bad. And guess what? Maybe that's the game of next generation. But I don't know yet. Because I can't play
tell.
it. I can't play it. I'm sorry. I got impassioned. God, I want to play that game.
Passions are high.
People going to email us, Top C, it's not that great. And I'll be like, guess what? You're not that great. I don't care about anything you're saying. Do you not get this? I'm not listening to you about this. Who cares? Who cares?
I care a little bit.
Nobody cares. If anyone gives me any opinion about Bloodborne, I don't care, positive or negative. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to play it. It's all I want to play right now.
Yeah.
And I can't do it.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm nearly that excited for is Phantom Pain.
Dude.
Like anything else coming out this year, I don't even know what else is coming out this year.
You put a copy of Phantom Pain and a copy of Bloodborne in front of me. It's actually tough for me.
I believe that. I believe that's true.
I know that's saying a lot, but here's the thing. I'm just more in a mood for Bloodborne, though.
Yeah, I get that.
That's fair, too. But man, is it hard. Guys, I don't want to buy a PS4 for Bloodborne. So
no, that's a tough sell.
No, it's real tough. Here's my question to you. Is Phantom Pain coming out for PC?
Yes.
Is it coming out the same time as the PS4 release?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's worldwide release.
Okay, great. So, is there someone I can write to make him put Bloodborne on PC? Because I don't get it. I don't get why we're leaving money on the table like this.
Dude, I think it's a big part of kind of what you said. I think it's they want to get people to buy that PS4. And
Dude, yeah.
No.
What? It says it's coming out soon. What are we looking? It comes out 14 days later.
It comes out 2 weeks after for Windows.
What's that about?
Why?
Oh, God.
Come on.
Apparently PS3, PlayStation 4, 360, blah, blah. September 1st, 2015.
Console release on September 1st.
Windows, September 15th.
Come on, bro.
They're letting them beta test us for it, guys. That sucks, but yeah, that's unnecessary. What's the point? What's the point of that?
Ugh.
Guys, I just...
That makes me mad. I'm mad about that.
It's still a big joke that Demon's Souls will never come to PC. It's still a big joke that Red Dead Redemption will never come to PC. All this is a huge joke being played on me for no reason. And the only way to kill these comedians at these studios is by being a rich man and buying all these systems. But I'm never going to be rich. And I'm never... Really, the controversy thing on this Wikipedia is about quiet and not about all the millions of other things? Screw this. Guys...
I hate everyone.
If you hate us, don't email us at sonsofvidya@gmail.com.
But if you like us, you should email us.
If you like us, you should rate us on iTunes. If you like us, you should check out our Patreon, our YouTube, our Facebook.
Check out our old stuff.
Our Twitter.
But here's the thing. We're not going to leave you, aside from this groundbreaking entertainment podcast, we're also going to bring you...
Pioneers, I'd say.
With some of our classics... Speed reviews. Tom, this is the top 10 superhero games sponsored by the upcoming Age of Ultron, Avengers 2, blah, 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 blah.
Upcoming, already out.
Upcoming, already released. Number 10, Superman Returns.
Superman Returns is a sequel to Superman 64, which is a game that everyone loved and got the worst grade ever. 0 to 10. Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe.
Nope, nobody liked this game. Don't know why it's on this list. 0 out of 10. Number 8, Superman Shadow of Apocalypse.
Why do they keep making Superman games? First one did bad, and also they misspelled Apocalypse. 0 out of 10. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure everyone actually liked this game, but I never played it because I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan, so it gets a 7 out of 10. Number 60, Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Adventures of Batman and Robin is the game version of the movie Batman and Robin, which was the worst one ever, and everyone hated it. 10 out of 10. Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 is a game about Spider-Man 2, and I like Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 2 wears a 2, and 2's gets a 2 out of 10. Number 4, Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance is that game that I know existed, but never have actually seen in person. It's like the Sasquatch of video games. 0 out of 10. X-Men Origins Wolverine.
X-Men Origins Wolverine is a game about Wolverine, I guess. It was the movie? Did they make a game about that movie? I thought that movie was okay. Did they not like that movie? Whatever. The movie gets a 0 out of 10. Number 2, Marvel vs. Capcom.
Marvel vs. Capcom. Have you ever wanted to hear your favorite superhero said in a Japanese accent? Well, we have the game for you. 10 out of 10. City of Heroes.
City of Heroes sounds pretty boring because where all the crime go. Guys, we're going to see you next week.
We did it.